Okay, we're in the Simple Classics book, book 1. This is by Alfred. It's not an expensive book, $7.99. All of these songs are arrangements of old classical songs, public domain. This one is Fur Elise by Beethoven. First thing you need to do to understand this is to number your measures 1 through 29. Oh my goodness, my wire's getting in the way, Elias. What are we gonna do? Alright, so I'm gonna start here. Me neither. Watch out, buddy. C position for both hands. We do have some flat sharps and naturals to read through in this. Let's go ahead and get started. It starts on beat 3. 1, 2. Son. Then we gotta repeat. Second ending, measure 11. Two, 3, measure 28, 29, and here's the DS, which is almost a da capo because it's right to measure 1. Here's the anacrusis. Okay, so let's look at the roadmap. You should have your measures numbered, and we've got a DS, the sign, right above the first measure. We've got an anacrusis of 1 beat, an up, 2/8 note upbeats, and or 1 upbeat in 2/8 notes. We've got a repeat at the end of measure 8 is a first ending. So after we play measure 8, 1 through 8, we go back to measure 1. And we play 1 through 7, skip 8, and go to 9. And then it says to next strain. If you look at that. That's when we go to measure 11. And I think I messed up there because I was trying to think of what to say to Elias. I started on 3rd finger. But right here in measure 11, we've got to switch to kind of like a D position. Oh, that's so wonderful. What did you do? That's hilarious, son. Okay, so let's... just finish this roadmap. Starting in measure 11, you play all the way through. Measure 21, 22, and 23 have a repeat. Then you get to end of 29, and we've got the DS al fine, which means dal segno al fine. Go to the sign and then to the end. So the sign, again, is measure 1, and we play that for the last time. And then we skip measure 8, the first ending. We skip measure 9, the second ending. And we go to measure 10, the fine. All right, so let's take a look now at the A section, the deedle-deedle-deedle-deedle-doo. First off, you'll notice that we're not in the normal key signature. We're in C minor. This song is in E minor originally. I'm sorry, E minor. A minor originally. But we're in... Hey, don't touch that, son. You're shaking the camera. See, look, it's wobbling. Okay. So we're going to start off in the beginning, and we've got 1, 2, 3, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 1, and 2, 3, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 1, and 2. One thing to note is that we're going to have the constant sound of eighth notes. 1 and 2 and 3. And for measure 1, 2, 3, but measure 4 we don't. We have 1 and 2, 3, and that's the end of that little phrase before it goes back into this part. So here it is again, just so you can have that illustration. You can hear the 8th notes. That's where it ends, and then it starts over again, and it's the same thing again until we get to measure 8, where we have the same rhythm again. And then we go back to the beginning. Make sure measure 2, that's going to be one of the first things, obviously, that comes up, is that your pinky in your left hand has to start with your thumb when you hit that C. Here it comes right here. And then the pinky here. So your left hand has to switch between C position, and C minor, and G quite quickly. Here's just measure 2 and 3. Measure 4. All right, so you've only got a 8th rest. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2. So make sure that you're moving during that rest. You don't want to wait until it's supposed to be playing. I promise too, son. Thank you, Websh. That's pretty much all we got for the A section. I think that's gonna, once you get that down, that'll be the easiest. Well, let's look at measure 2 actually. So we have this. So this is really the arpeggio. It's just all a C minor arpeggio, but it's broken between the 2 hands. Right here. And then it does it again. Let's look at the second ending. When we come into that, I'm not starting at measure 7 and skipping to measure 9. And right here, I'm going to immediately just spread my hand out a little bit right here. I don't need to really move to D position because I still have to be holding that C. When I get to measure 11, it's just going to be that. It's like, oh, this is a nice... We're in C major now. All right, so here's 7, 9, and 11. Move my pointer up, get it ready here. And we are going to speed up here just a little bit. So this one, the melody is not that hard. Just make sure that your left hand's not overpowering your right hand. With the long notes, thank you, son. With the long notes, it's going to be easy to have these repeated notes be louder than these. All right, so here's 7, 9, and 11 again, and then going forward. Here's slowly 7 and 9. And I'm going to move my right pointer up to start here. Stronger with the 3rd finger. Oh my goodness, I need to pay attention to what I'm doing. And then we're going to go right back to regular C position. So I was right here on 2 and 4. This is measure 13 and measure 14. Next thing that happens is I've got to get 4 right here, but it's okay, it's not that bad. I'm at measure 13 and 14. Lift because I've got to rest, and then I'm going to go back to regular C position. My left hand's still in C position. And check this out. Your 15 and 16, your second finger plays both F and F sharp. Sorry, son, I'm recording a video immediately. And then thumb on G. And this is like a G7, a 5/7. So here's 15 again. F sharp in the left hand. Then we get to 18. Let me just finish that back at 17. It's 2 C's. And this is where we have an allegro, and you see at measure 18 it says allegro, and on at the bottom it says play measures 18 through 29 as fast as can be played evenly and smoothly. So it's only this, a C sharp G in the left hand, and then in the right hand. And then the right hand comes down. And where it would go to C, your left hand has to take over. My left hand is going to move as soon as my right hand plays, and it's like they're on top of me. It's even closer to the middle C. It's like this. And I'm going to sneak my right hand out of the way, and my left hand takes over my right hand. As soon as my right hand plays, my left hand comes over. All right, so here it is again, measure 18. Watch my left hand move as soon as my right hand plays. Left hand moves. And then we're going to get slower here. So let me also talk about why I'm moving up an octave. On 18, it's written as this. 21 is written the same way. But it has a repeat at the beginning at 21 and a repeat back at the end of 23. And if you look above the notes, 8 VA both hands. So this is 18. And even though it reads the same, 21 is going to be up here. And then it says second time 2 octaves higher. So then you're going to be up here. All right. So you don't want to move your hands right at the last second like. Like that's taking a ton of concentration. But if you just move them when you're not playing with that hand, you'll be a lot better. When we get to 24 right here, the right hand is going to come. I'm going to show you down here. Thank you, son. It's 1, thank you, son. 1 on B, 2 on B flat, 3 on A, 4 on A flat, and 5 on G. So those 5 notes, I don't know why they chose to do it this way, but that's the way they got it. I would just maybe just the regular 3-1 on going down there, but whatever. But that's what we've got. So here's 18. And it starts soft and it gets louder and louder and louder until we start this little pattern coming down. Then it gets softer and slower. So here's 18. And then 28 is as written, a regular G, dotted half note tied to a fermata G, so that's going to hold on until we're nice, good, and ready to go on. Back to the beginning. Elias, you're moving the thing a lot. It's okay, son. And then measure 7. Sorry. Hey, you don't have to go, son. You're okay. Oh, I mean, come here. Come here right now. Oh my goodness. I'm going to have to tell him it's okay. So the ending is when you DS Alfina, you go back to measure 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then you end on 10. So here's 7 and 10. There's a lot of pedaling in this. You don't really have to worry about that. It sounds fine just without the pedaling. Come here, son. Let's finish with hot crust buns. You want to be on the video? Come on.
About the thing I was teaching you how to play.
Come here. This is the piano. All right. What do you want to teach me? On this one?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
So here's what I was doing. I was using this for your voice when you were trying to sing, when you were trying to tell everybody all the things you said. Mm-hmm. And this is the thing I was trying to play the same music as you were.
Oh, okay.